Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial I am going to show you how we can create basic calculator in Flutter. So this is our calculator interface, and here we can see the number keys, and then we can see some basic calculations button. So here we can do some basic calculations like multiplication, division, so all of these kind of things, and then we can clear the screen and do another operations, or we can clear out everything. So we can clear all, then we can do this single character deletion. So if I mistakenly typed any extra character, then I can delete that from here, and then we can perform our task, right? And then again we can plus minus things over here. So like this we can do our calculations. So this is what I am going to build today in this tutorial. So if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new tutorial on this channel. So without wasting any more time, let's get started with the tutorial. So this is a basic Flutter app, and here I have just replaced the default widget with this calculator app widget. And this calculator app is a stateful widget, and in our void main we are running this calculator app, and within this calculator app widget we have this app bar, and for this app theme I am using this blue gray color. And for the body I have provided a container, and I have provided this text, and I have wrapped this within a center widget. So this is the basic structure which we get with our Flutter installation. I have just modified it slightly. I have just removed that counter and the state related to that. Now here we will create the calculator UI. So first, we don't need this center. Instead of this center I will use column, and for this column children I will use row, and for this row children I will create the button which will be the calculator key. So within this children I will provide a container. For this container child I will use sized box, and for this sized box width I will use 70, and for the height of it I will use 70 as well. Then for the child of it I will use flat button, and for the shape of it I will use rounded rectangle border, and for border radius of it I will use border radius circular, and I will give 5.0 value to it. Then for the child of it I will provide a text. Let me provide a text for this button, and for the style of it I will use Google Fonts, and I have already installed Google Fonts in our project. So here you can see the Google Fonts dependency, so I can use that over here. And I will use Google font Rubik, so I will use this Rubik font. Now for this text style I will use font size 24, and now after this child I will use on pressed, and for the on press of it currently I will use a blank function, an empty function. Now save it. So here we can see the button, but it's not looking like a button, but we can see that it is a button. So we need to provide some colors to it. So for the color I will provide this color, and it will be color, and for the text color I will provide this color. Now after saving it we can see our button is showing perfectly. Now we need to change the background color, then it will look good. So for this app we need to provide a background color, and for the color of it I will provide this color. Now after saving it we can see that it's looking good. Now we need to push this button to the bottom of the screen. For that, within this column I can provide main axis alignment, and here the main axis alignment will be end. So after providing this we can see that it has been pushed at the bottom of the screen. Now I want to provide some margin to this container, so it will be edge insets all, and I will provide 10 pixel margin from all sides of it. So now it's looking good. So this is our button, and we need to use this multiple times. So that's why I will copy this container. This is our button code. I will cut this and I will use this in a different file, and I will create a custom widget of it. So let's create a new folder called widgets, and within widgets I will create a new widget called calculator button dart. So here let's create a stateless widget, and it will be calculator button, and for this calculator button container I will use this container. And we have bunch of error over here because we need to import material dart package. Now save it, and then we have this Google Fonts error, so we need to import Google Fonts package as well. Now there is no error, so I can save it, and after saving it I can use it in our main.dart file. So it is calculator button, and we need to import it, and it has been imported automatically. And let me change this path to the relative path, and we don't need Google Fonts as of now, but it will be required later, so I will keep this here. Now let's see. So nothing changes. Now let's copy it several times, and it's looking good. Now I need to make it dynamic because we need to change the text of it. We don't want it to be 9 every time. We want it to 9, 8, 7 like this. So for that, here we need to accept a string text, and here we can accept it like this. Now we can use it. Instead of this 9, I can provide text over here. And we have bunch of error because we need to provide that text over here, and the text is 9. Similarly, let me provide few other numbers over here. Now the error is gone, so it's working perfectly fine, right? Now for this row main axis alignment, I will provide space evenly. So now it's looking good. Now I can copy this several times. So this is how our calculator will look like. Let me copy it another time. So these many buttons will be there. Now I need to change all the button text, and then we will have different color for our operators. So along with this text, we need to provide the color for the buttons as well. So we need to accept those things here. Now let's accept all those things which will be required for this button. After this text, we will require button color, and I give it the name of fill color. Then we will require text color. Then we will require text size, because for some buttons we need to change the font size. And then finally we will require a function, and I give it a name of callback, which will be the function for this on press. After pressing this button, this function will be invoked. So it is callback text. Within this function I will provide the text which we have accepted previously. We need to provide these variables here as well. So it will be this dot fill color. Now we can save it. Now we can provide all those values over here to design our calculator. And another thing, I haven't used this fill color text size here, so I need to use those thing over here. So it will be text size. Then for the color I will use fill color. For the text color it will be text color, right? And we need to provide all those informations here. Now first we have all clear button. For the fill color of it, I will provide this color. For the text color, I will provide this color. For the text size, I will provide 20. Now to check it, let me remove these other rows first, then the other buttons. Now we can see that our button is showing perfectly, right? And here we can see the error after clicking on this because we haven't provided any callback function to it. I will provide that later. Now first create some more buttons and create all the buttons of the calculator. After this AC button, here it will be clear button, and here it will be similar to this button. But after this button, we will require this back button, and for this back button color, I will provide this color. Now save it. So we have different different color, and for this row we will have another button, and that will be division button. So we have completed our row. Now after this, let's copy this row. Now modify the buttons of it. Here it will be 9, 8, 7, then multiplication. For multiplication we will use this capital X, and for this 7 I will use this same color. Now I need to copy this row several times like this, and then I can modify it. So here I have added all the buttons, so now it's looking good, but here we can see that it's breaking. For this button we need to provide a different size. Now it's in a same line, so it's looking good, and along with it I want to change the size of this AC button as well. So now we are completed with our calculator buttons UI. Now I need to add the widgets for the numbers to display here. So to create the widget, here within this column, before this row, we need to create a container, and for this container child I will provide a padding widget, and for its padding I will provide 12 pixel, and for the child of it I will provide text widget, as I want to display a text. So here it will be a text like this, which we will type by using these buttons, right? Now after saving it, we can see here is our text. Now we need to style it, and for the style of it I will provide Google Fonts, and I will use Rubik font. Now for text style of it I will provide font size 48, and for the color of it I will provide white color. Now it's looking good. Now I want to push it to the right hand side, and for that here I can provide alignment, and for the alignment we can provide alignment, and for the alignment value I can provide 1,1, and by this it will be at the right hand side. So it has been completed. Now after this, above this text we will have another text, so we need to provide another container, and it will be similar to this as well. So it will be padding, and for the padding of it I will provide edge insets only right 12, and for the child of it we need to provide a text. So I can copy this one and paste it over here, and it will be like this. And here also we need to provide the alignment, and for the font size of it I will use 24, and for the color of it I will use this color. Now it's looking good as I want. So now we are completed with the complete UI of the calculator. Now we need to work on the functionality of this calculator. First let's create some variables. So we will have two variables, first num, then we will have second num. Along with these numbers we will have history, which is this one, what calculations we have performed. So we need to store that within this history. Now after that we need to use text to display. Then we will have another variable which will store intermediate result, and then finally we will have operation. So these are the variables which will be required to perform our basic calculation. Now after this I will create this button on click function, and for this function we will accept the value of the button. Now if I print it to our console, let's check it. For this button let's add the callback, and for this callback we need to provide this button on click. Now save it. Now after that let's click on this AC button. So now here within our debug console we can see the output, and this output is our text, right? So if I use callback for this clear button and save it, now click on this C, then we can see the output as C. So now it's clear that we are getting the text value of that button to our function, and we can check that value to perform our calculation. Now let me quickly provide this function to all of the buttons. So now I have added this function to all of the buttons, and here I can check this button value to perform our task. So if button value is equal to C, that means clear. So that means we need to clear this text to display. Then for the first num it will be 0, for second num it will be 02, for intermediate result value it will be empty string. So this is for the clear. Then else if button value equal to AC, then it will be all of this along with this history. History will be empty as well. So we have done the clear functions. Now we need to check for the basic operations. So if button value equal to plus or button value equal to minus or multiplication, that means the x, we will get this capital X value. And then for the division, so that means this forward slash, if we will get any of these, then we will do these operations. And for the operation, first we need to store the first number, and we will get it from text to display, and we will pass it to integer, and that time our intermediate result value will be empty. So this is the first time when the user is providing any value, and now the operation will be button val. So whatever value we will get, we will store that operation. So it will be either of these four. So we will perform these things when first time user provides some value and then clicked on any calculation buttons over here. Then we will store the first num and the operation. Then if the button value is equal to, that means after providing some value first time, user clicks on any operation button, then user typed any other number, so that means it will be second number, and after providing the second number, user will click on this equal to button. So we will store the second num and it will be similar to the first num. Then we will do the operation. So here within this else if block, if the operation is equal to plus, then we will perform the plus operation, and it will be first num plus second num, and we need to convert it to string. So it will perform the operation. Now along with this operation, we need to store the history as well. So the history will be first num, and we need to convert it to string, then the operation, and then the second num. So we are storing all the string value and concatenating it to history variable, which will be provided here. So it will be similar to this. Now after this plus operation, let me copy this 4 times. After this plus, it will be minus. For the multiplication, we have to check for the x, and here it will be asterisk symbol to do the multiplication, and after that it is the division, and here it will be division. Now after this else if, we will have a default case where user haven't clicked on any of these buttons, that means user have clicked on these number buttons, so we need to display those numbers. So we need to store that within this res variable, and it will be int parse, then it will be text to display plus the button val. So whatever button user have clicked on, it will be added to the number, and we need to convert it to string. And after this condition, we can set our state, and here the text to display will be assigned with this res variable. Now I can use this text to display here, and here it will be our history. And here we have to assign an empty value to these strings to use it in our text widget. Now restart our app. Now let's see 8, 4. So here we can see within our console we are printing the number, and here it has been appended. So our text to display is working. Now let's do the plus operation. So after providing this plus, it has been removed. Now let's add it with 6. Now click on this equal to. Our history is showing perfectly and the result is correct. So our operation is working perfectly. Now let's do another thing. So it's working fine. Now I need to work for 2 buttons. The first one is this back button, and the other one is this plus minus button. I haven't worked for these two. Let's do that now. So here after this AC, provide another condition, and here let's check for this plus minus, and when we will click on this button, that time we will check for the first character of the existing number. So the existing number will be text to display, and I can get first character by providing this 0 index to the array. if it is not equal to minus, so that means if we don't have any minus in front of our number as first character, then we need to provide that. So we will add the minus to our text to display. And for the else case, which means if it is having minus value, that time we will remove the first character. Now save it. Now after saving it, let's check it. So click on this plus minus. So we didn't have the minus sign, so it has been added. Now we have this negative sign, so let's click on this. It has been removed, so it's working perfectly fine. Let's check it. If I provide a minus value, then do a plus operation, plus 60, and we have negative 20, right? So it's working fine. Now I need to check for this back button. So here I can provide the button value, and this button value will be this back arrow, and here we need to remove the last character of this string, which is our text to display. So text to display dot substring comma text to display dot length -1. By doing this, we can remove the last character of this string. Now save it. After that, let's click on this back button. So it has been removed, right? So it's working perfectly fine. Let's clear out. So it has been cleared. Let's clear all. So our history also has been cleared, right? So now our basic calculator app is working fine. So this is the tutorial, guys. I hope you have learned something new from this tutorial. If you do so, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and let me know by commenting down below. If you have any kind of suggestion for me, then also let me know, and share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues. And I will see you guys in my next tutorial. In the meantime, have a great day. Goodbye.